Before we begin, I will have a spoiler as to something that I'm recreating into Bilbo at the end of this video, just to maintain consistency with content. So if you're watching this for complete Bilbo content, you can skip to the end. Now to the video. Slime Siege is a rather recent tower defense game made by Overcoding Overseers and is essentially a revamped version of Revenge of the Slimes, made by the same makers of Bilbo for Treasure, and it's actually the second most popular game made by Chill Studios. No wonder this one stood out. So, let's see what Slime Siege entails. Starting off, we're presented with a magnificent matchmaking lobby with all kinds of details and references, as well as what appears to be a new foe, foreshadowing fun. And as someone who has used Roblox Studio a few times, I immediately noticed all the corners and questioned to myself, how long did it take to make all of this? Enough of the lobby. For the main part, we can enter these elevators to start your standard round with up to 8 people, and after a few seconds,
let's do this.
Now, here's my first experience of Slime Siege. I started playing this for the first time while uploading the 4 practical mechanisms video. Uploading made it too laggy, so a day later, I started making arrays of spikes for equally distributed pain. Do slimes even feel pain? And as what I saw out of those, they're decent for the first wave or two since they're the cheapest defense I could afford, and the first wave is the weakest wave of the other waves. The wood blocks might have not served much purpose though. At wave 2, however, my budget did not meet the price for my Wall of Pain 3000. So, again with the spikes, but this time on top of wood blocks to give them more height and to compensate for my quadruple cash alongside Fernal spikes and shockers, but that didn't go as intended. Now here's where a game changer in my gameplay hit. Before this recording, I tried placing arrays of turrets and didn't know my budget, which should have been responsible for this development, and they carried me throughout the few waves of slimes bombarding the battlefront. One of them threw me to stalemate after I saw their special ability, so I used that to my advantage and they did not disappoint, at least until I realized my budget. It was still good to use my bow though against the biggest and most healthy slimes, so be grateful, my only friends. Now, wait for it.
Boom. Headshot.
The third wave was fine, so fine that I can get a more reinforced turret barrage. Alright, I killed everyone. So now that I've met the budget, I could place a packed wall of turrets, not spacing them out by one stud this time, and some shockers and saws in the front lines. Oh, and I also bought saws later on. Now, weak slimes, they're not affected by my shockers, but they can't withstand the turret barrage, which helps a lot when speaking of the other horde behind them, which also slightly makes my bow redundant. But hey, that's a few brain cells gained. Wave 5. What a few half-point markers of the siege. I placed the same turret barrage, still meeting the budget, and some shockers with a saw. Now, here are fast slimes, but faster. Kinda reminds me of arrow slimes from Calamity. Wave 5 is cleared and my budget for wave 6 is lower than wave 5, which gets me thinking of something. Remember those slimes that countered my turret system? Well, it turns out they're super tanky and bulletproof.
You are quite bulletproof. Can I take a sample?
And those are what can mess me up the most and are introduced after the gravity slimes. So, I ended up saving my money until the warrior slimes were introduced. But even with that quota, the 2 shockers carried nonetheless. And I got my bigger budget back. But it's not enough though. The warrior slimes hit me hard last time. I'm definitely not letting that happen again, the turret barrage. And I'm definitely not letting the warrior slimes take my turrets.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double,
Wait. This is wave 7? Oh, look, gravity slimes. Thank you for your corpses. What? No. Anyways, here's where my defenses become staggered by slimes. However, I'm still going to meet the warrior slime zap budget nonetheless. A sad day for all slime kind. So after I finished my turret barrage, guess what? I made a shocker barrage. And a door. I love playing with firepower. Anyways, that's as far as I can get. I still need to do some grinding to figure out how to get past the mech slime, but now that we beat it, here's my final judgment on the entire game. What stuck out to me the most was, it's a tower defense game in a way, and I'm all up for strategizing. Plus, the graphics make it so well polished as to make me want to even question if and when this becomes popular. The only thing I would critique, however, is the prices for the different defenses in the shop. I don't see this as a complete critique. I can see an upgraded shocker being this expensive, but it would take a long time to grind for, and I don't like having my time wasted on a pointless piece of support. Let's compare this to Build-A-Bow. You can get 50 of the blocks they offer here, and you just need to reach the end about 3 times to get them, and it seems that their price scales with the block's strength and abilities, like bouncy blocks. Alright, spoiler warning for something I've been making into Build-A-Bow, but before that, I see that I've improved so much as to amass so much attention, so it would really help now to support such an evolution by pressing you know what. Now, for the spoiler.